Yo, what's going on, everybody? Gabriel Santos here. Today, we're going to talk about self love, self worth, and goals. Right. So, the context for this video is I personally have had this long endeavor of having certain goals, right? I want to be in shape. I want my house to be this. I want to be someone who is on top of their life and their to do list every day. Um, but and I would go through spurts of that. I would work out consistently for a month, or I would be on top of my stuff for several months, or even up to a year. But then somewhere along the way, the energy and the willpower would dissipate. And then I would go through this cycle of neglecting everything, and the house would get messy again, and out of shape again. And then I would feel this shame, and eventually, after being tired of being tired, I would get back up and go on a fitness journey or be on top of my to-do list again, and I would go back and forth and back and forth. And I thought it was about I need to be more consistent, or I need to, if I don't feel like it or not, just do it. And don't get me wrong, that works, right? If you are someone who just doesn't get wrapped up in your feelings and you just get up and do something every day, you will accomplish something, right? You will get to the end of your goal. That's not what this video is about. Because what I discovered in my own journey with this process of being ashamed, neglecting everything, not wanting where I want to be, not being where I want to be, and then finally being tired of being tired, and then trying to make things better for a couple months or so. But then I would lose motivation, and then I would neglect things, and I was just this vicious cycle. And what I've discovered through my own inner work, through my own self-reflections, as well as working with, professional coaches and things like that, is I had a lot of shame and self-hate and self-judgment that was deeper than just being out of shape. It was way beyond that. It was visceral, it was trauma, it was that at the very core of our human, what's the word, of the of human suffering, of like, I'm not enough, I'm not good enough. And it would extend to I'm not good enough because of, right, different conditions. I'm not good enough because I'm only 5'7". I'm not good enough because I don't have a career that's as good as Johnny's. I am not good enough because, wow, I'm 34 and I'm only at this level of life. I'm not good enough because XYZ. And so then, to reconcile that feeling of not feeling good enough, and that, that can feel like shame for me, that felt like embarrassment, that felt like anxiety, that felt like, this insecurity about who I am and the different facets of my life. And so naturally, my way to solve this was to try and rectify those things. Okay, I feel shameful about not being in shape. Okay, let me be in shape. And what was really underneath that whole agenda, what was really underneath this goal of wanting to be in shape, was really about wanting to be accepted. And it felt like what I wanted was acceptance from other people, but it was really I wanted acceptance within myself. Because by getting acceptance from other people, that would then be permission for me to feel accepted within myself. But again, it's all dependent, it's all conditional. And so, again, the line of thinking was I feel not enough because I'm out of shape. Or I feel disgusted with myself because I'm out of shape. Okay, let me get in shape. But the secret agenda about getting in shape was about wanting acceptance. And my way of getting acceptance was through other people. And so let me manipulate and try and control acceptance by getting in shape so that other people are impressed with me and they give me positive feedback. And I will then filter that positive feedback from other people as I'm good enough. And that's how I'm going to run my show. And so my real quest was about finding sustainable, controllable sense of acceptance. But it would always depend on other people. It would always depend on me being a certain way. And it was never about, oh, I'm just good enough because. And it feels like other people's acceptance is what really matters and feels best. But if anything, what felt the worst was how shameful and unworthy I felt in my own self because of these beliefs I had that I thought made me unworthy. Oh my God, I really hope they don't ask about my job. Oh gosh, I hope they don't notice my shirt is big. Oh gosh, I hope they don't notice that my house is messy, because those are things that I'm ashamed of, and I'm ashamed. And on the flip side, right, in those days where I was in shape, in the days I had my house clean, it was unsustainable. It was unsustainable because I was secretly using being on top of my life and being on top of myself as my formula for feeling good enough inside and feeling like I was good enough for other people. And so it was all built on shaky grounds. And it's just not sustainable, because then my sense of self-acceptance and self-worth has everything to do with if my life is going a certain way or not. And those were my own belief systems that I had created, my own rules that I had created. Oh, I was holding hostage self-worthiness. I was holding hostage self-respect, self-love, only if I was in shape, only if I, you know, only if I do my morning routine and I don't look at my phone and I do it XYZ, then I will feel good about how have myself. And it's so much deeper than like basic dopamine or basic self-respect. I'm talking about like, no, at like the depths of my soul, in the deepest parts of my heart, mind, and soul. I'm searching for acceptance. I'm searching for a sense of I'm good enough. And so all the different rules or solutions I had to feel sustainable self-acceptance, they weren't sustainable enough. It always depended, because there will always be someone. There will always be someone who is taller than me, more successful than me, and they still won't like me. I could be as rich, I could be as successful, I could be the perfect example of being in shape, and I still won't get the whole world to love me. I will still always be at the mercy of other people's reactions to me, other people's opinions on how my life is or isn't going. And I know that this is common. This is a common phenomenon for people, that we are searching for our deepest sense of self-acceptance and our deepest sense of self-worth through other people. And fair enough. That's just like how we're wired from a survival standpoint. We need the group to survive. We need other people to watch our backs. We need other people to help gather the food, right? I'm talking about our primitive survival brains. And so, again, I was trying to solve deep shame and deep unworthiness through getting other people to love me, through having my life be an A plus all the time, every day, across the board, forever. And obviously that didn't work. And the irony is that I didn't get sustainable self-love and self-worth. Like, hey sis, I didn't get sustainable self-worth and self-love like I had wanted. And I also didn't get sustainable goals. I would get in shape, but then I would ultimately not feel good enough still. And so I'm like, well, it's not worth it. So then I never stayed in shape. And so it's just this whole twisted up approach that I just wanted to share with people. And yeah. Hope this video finds you well. Hopefully the message is clear. And, you know, I would love to hear from people in the comments. If they have any questions or if they share your insights. Because, you know, I've gone through, you know, I've touched the surface of this lesson a number of times, but especially because I've you know, I no longer am using weed to like deeply escape. I've had to really confront certain emotions, certain traumas, certain deep inner parts of my psyche and my heart that I think needed to be addressed for a long time, but I just kept running away from it because I just didn't know like how to even go about it at all. And so it's just crazy. Like, it's crazy to just kind of go through this at this time. And I know there's a lot more to it. I know that it's a work in progress, but I just really wanted to share this message with people. And yeah, see you guys in the next one. Peace.